Hi everyone! For my Part B reflection, I'm revisiting my original discussion about what makes a quality teacher, particularly focusing on responsiveness to students and creating inclusive, engaging learning environments. Since completing Part A, my understanding has definitely deepened. Initially, I focused a lot on theory, things like differentiation and behavior management, but after being in real classrooms, I've realized how much of teaching is actually about reading the moment, adapting quickly, and building genuine connections with the students. One of the biggest things that stood out to me during my placements was how teachers are involved in every aspect of school life, not just academic learning. For example, during my second placement, it was interrupted by the Easter Hat Parade. At first, I saw it as a disruption to my learning, but that perspective quickly changed. Watching the event, I realized how important these experiences are for building relationships between students, family, and the school community. It actually made me a bit emotional thinking about how many of those students had probably sat down with their parents to create their hats, just like I remember doing when I was younger. This really connects to the New South Wales K-6 syllabus, which emphasises student well-being, belonging and engagement as essential for effective learning. It also aligns with the Australian Professional Standards for Teachers, particularly Standard 1, Knowing Students and How They Learn, and Standard 7, Engaging Professionally with Parents and the Community. I also noticed how teachers seamlessly integrated themselves into the event. It wasn't separate from teaching, it was teaching. It showed me that being a quality teacher isn't just about delivering content, but also creating meaningful experiences that support students socially and emotionally as well. Another key experience that shaped my understanding came first from my placement in the Year 2 to 3 class, where we had a substitute teacher. As someone who was actually interested in becoming a substitute teacher myself, this was really impactful. At the start of the day, she introduced herself and said she was just winging it, and honestly, I loved how authentic that was. Even though she said that, she came across as confident, calm, and capable throughout the entire hour we were there. What I realized is that effective teaching doesn't always mean having everything perfectly planned. It's about being adaptable and responsive. This reflects the idea of teacher flexibility discussed in the literature and also aligns to the quality teaching framework, particularly the dimension of quality learning environments, where students feel supported and engaged regardless of the situation. I also had a really important moment while supporting a maths lesson. I found myself naturally drawn to a group of students who appeared disruptive, but when I actually worked with them, I realized they weren't disengaged, they just didn't understand the instruction. Once I explained the task more clearly, they became focused and engaged almost immediately. That moment really shifted my thinking. Instead of viewing behaviour as something to manage, I started seeing it as communication. This links strongly to the New South Wales syllabus, which emphasises differentiation and supporting all learners to access content. It also connects to Standard 3 of the Australian Professional Standards for Teachers, planning for and implementing effective teaching and learning, because it highlighted the most importance of clear instruction and adjusting teaching to meet students' needs. I also made a conscious effort to move around the classroom, supporting different groups. I spent most of my time with students who needed guidance while extending those who were already confident. This reflects differentiation in practice, which was something I had previously only understood in theory. Finally, during the Easter Hat Parade, I spoke with another substitute teacher who had been working in that role for 9 years. Hearing his perspective was really reassuring for me as someone who was considering that pathway myself. He spoke about how much he enjoys the variety and flexibility, and it reinforced that there are multiple ways to be a quality teacher. Overall, my understanding has shifted from seeing teaching as primarily about delivering content to recognizing it as a dynamic, relational, and highly responsive profession. A quality teacher is not just knowledgeable, but adaptable, reflective, and deeply connected to their students and the community. Thank you.